You are now watching Cherry Coke with Coach.
Hey, welcome to episode 12 of Cherry Coke with Coach. Thank you for joining us again. If you're new, thank you for joining us for the first time. Continue to like, share, follow, subscribe, all those good things you're supposed to do for shows and for social media. So, introduction, shout outs today. I think my goal was 50 last week. We had 15 subscribers. So I was like, hey, let's just shoot for 50. My wife made fun of me and it's like, that's a horrible goal. And I'm like, well, we had 15. So like, I got to start somewhere. We topped that. We have 300 subscribers now on YouTube. So thank you for subscribing. Go ahead and keep subscribing. Tell your friends. Hit that subscribe button. It's only going to tell you every Wednesday at about 7 a.m. that we got a new episode out. So you might as well just subscribe. You don't have to watch the episode, but my subscribers are going up. That's nice. So thank you for subscribing. Other shout outs. We got to give a shout out to our Red Oak athletes. Braden Sifford qualified for state in the 1, 2, and 400 meter dash. Jocelyn O'Neill qualified for the 2, 4, and the long jump. I think both those kids, Braden Sifford, he's run the 400 for the first time, I think, twice this year. I think he qualified for the 1 and 2 last year. And Jocelyn, I believe, qualified for all three as a freshman last year. So she's qualified for the same events. Girls golf, they finished second, so they're on to sub-state.
Yep.
So they're one meet away from going to state. I think they had Shan there, and they beat Shan, but they lost.
That's true.
Yeah, but it was 401 to 402, I believe. So girls, they'll be golfing this week. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then Merced qualified for state as an individual. She got first in her district. And then we talked about Adam and Kyler wrestling state wrestling last week. I did verify they both qualified for Fargo in Greco, I believe. So both Adam and Beyer and then Kyler Sandholm are going to Fargo this year. I think that's all the shout outs I got. Kip, welcome. How we feeling, bud?
It's one season down. Another season starts on Tuesday.
That's not, I have a right here in my notes, track done, and then an arrow pointing straight to baseball.
Yep. Yeah. So last track meet was on past Tuesday, the 7th. First baseball game next Tuesday, the 14th. So
A little overlap there.
yeah, no rest for the weary, I guess. So.
At least Coach Erickson gives you that practice at 4:30. So you get track from 3:30 to 4:30, and then hustle across that parking lot and get over on the other side. At least there's a entrance through the fence. You don't have to go all the way around.
Yeah, it was kind of funny. We have some 8th graders that were doing both, and track was finally done. Well, then those 8th graders were running bases for varsity, like situation stuff. Oh, I thought you guys probably thought track practice was over.
It kind of pays off to go to track first and then run some bases.
Yeah. I'm like, going first and second is just kind of like running a 200.
I ran a Dollar General yesterday. I think I saw you playing the hot corner there at third base.
I was staying over there. I don't know if I
were
say I was playing
it. You're occupying the position for people.
I don't have the range I used to. It's
going
to be right at me.
Still got the arm, but not the range, right?
I didn't know about that.
Just got a couple hop it.
Yeah,
so
I just tried to look good and get it accurate. But it's probably been 3 hop it there.
So. Do you guys have a post-season track party for the kids then?
Wednesday we had a little pizza party up at Pizza Hut. Gave them some pizza. Thank you. Shout out to the boosters for helping us.
Yeah, they usually give us a good meal for the kids once a year. I think every sport gets one meal.
Yep.
I always have Julie Fouts and Melanie Sifford take care of the football stuff, so I have nothing to do with it.
When I had their kids as junior high tracksters,
You got this.
Them wrap up everything, so it's pretty nice.
Bowling, we go to Cracker Barrel, and then I pay for it, and then the school reimbursed me the difference for the kids. So it's nice. I think they cover $10 per kid, so it usually covers most. I tell the kids not to go crazy. I don't want to pay too much, But these kids eat a lot. I ate a lot when I was that age too. So, well, baseball now, and then football. You got to add a little football. We have practice twice a week, so you got to add that little. When you can make it to that, you can come hang out with us and talk football. But we got a guest today. He's given us our wise track words for the last month and a half. He's assistant football and track at Atlantic, aviation instructor, teacher. He's an Iowa State alum, but an Alabama fan. Correct?
Tried and true.
Roll Tide. Roll Tide. An Ankeny graduate, Ankeny High, I believe. Pre Ankeny.
I was the second class.
Okay.
When they split up.
Split up. So we have Coach Smith, Bryce Smith from Atlantic here with us today. Thanks for joining us, Bryce. How are we doing?
I'm listening to the rain right now. I don't know if they can hear it, but I mean, doing well. Ended up just got back from my mother-in-law's and hanging out with them all weekend. So glad to see her and see my parents as well over the weekend. Just getting ready for these last 10 days of school. So, you guys are, but I know mine are ready to go.
Oh yeah.
So.
Well, that's why I tell the kids all the time. I'm like, you guys might have a countdown, but we also have a countdown. Like, we are kind of tired of you. Like, I mean, to be honest, we're ready to be done.
I tell some of my kids, I love you to pieces, I really do, but you really need to get out of my face.
Yeah.
So.
It's like, you get to day 170, 180, you're like, yeah, the year's over. It's time to move on. But now you got to get ready for your vacay, right? I count it as my vacay. I thanked Braden Sifford. Mm-hmm. I said thank you for my vacay on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Yeah.
So you guys got what'd you guys get? 11 for the boys.
11 of the 19, and then I think our girls went 9 or 10 or something like that. I should have had that written down.
I have 8. You got 8 for the girls, 11 for the boys.
Yep. So we're all pretty excited. We got 3 Suburbans that we'll be taking out there between our header will leave a little bit early because we got some athletes competing early in the morning session, and then the rest of us will be coming out to watch them. Usually about that, I think we're going to be there about that 10 o'clock time frame. So
that morning session's way better than the afternoon. I love the morning session. We're going down Wednesday.
Oh yeah.
So
those are subplanes you don't mind making.
No, I really don't. Well, here's the nice part too. So our seniors are done on Wednesday. And then I told all my kids we're taking our final on Monday. We do revisions on Tuesday. Seniors last day on Wednesday. We'll probably fly simulators, do some traffic patterns and stuff. And then it's all right. Let's watch some documentaries for the remainder of the year. It works out pretty great.
Watch Sully,
Yeah, they wanted to watch planes. I had a kid this last year say, "Can we watch Soul Plane?" No, we're really
How about
not.
snakes on a plane?
Nope,
Does that work?
I'm good.
So,
But,
well,
yeah, it's a good time.
we appreciate you coming all the way down from Atlantic. The nice drive. I say that's the worst part about. My parents live in Central Iowa. Driving, going to Story City, and then coming back. The worst part is driving from Atlantic to Red Oak. The rest of it's not a bad drive. I mean, you coast along 70 miles per hour, but then you get that 55, what you're supposed to drive on that road, but there's nothing to look at. Cows.
Yep.
You get cows for days.
Some windmills.
Yeah, some windmills. And then you got the traffic issue, the road construction on 34. So go Griswold. That's the best way to go now. So some topics we got today. NBA playoffs. We'll start with that because I think everybody at the table would agree they don't care. I haven't even watched a game.
I haven't watched NBA since
Denver and
college.
Minnesota are still in it. I couldn't tell you the other 2 teams.
We're down to 8. So the West has the Thunder, number 1 Thunder versus number 5 Mavs. Mavs are up 2-1. The number 3 Wolves are taking on the number 2 Nuggets. The Wolves are up 2-1. On the East side, we got the number 1 Celtics taking on the number 4 Cavs. Celtics are up 2-1, and then the Pacers Knicks. That's 6 versus 2. The Knicks are up 2-1. I don't know.
Your Sixers not making?
No. They lost to the Knicks. I think the big story is that there's no big names anymore in the playoffs. You don't have Durant or Curry or
We got the next crop coming.
the Braun guy. They lost so they could draft Bronny higher. Make sure he's the number 1 pick or something.
He's brought that up like every time we talk about mention the NBA. Waiting for Johnny.
Got to find a way to bring it up. So
Streak continues.
I'm still rolling with the Nuggets. I think the Celtics, the new Mamba. I think he's like nicknamed the Mamba that Jason
Tatum.
Tatum. They're pretty good. But, yeah, I don't know anybody in the NBA anymore, so.
I'll go with the Timberwolves as much as I don't like the Vikings. I've been to a Timberwolves game, so.
I've gone to quite a few Timberwolves games. I remember going to one when Iverson played for the Nuggets. No, he played for the Sixers. I went to Denver and watched him play for the Nuggets. That's the only time I've gone to a game in Minnesota. But, yeah, who cares? Local sports.
Moving on.
Girls soccer ended this week. They got their one win. They beat Riverside, so big ups. I had to buy them pizza this week. I got them 3 large pizzas from Pizza Ranch. I walked home with one, so it was good to go. Good to go. That was my meal today.
Your day to cook.
Yep. So, actually,
What are you doing now?
me and Jamie, before I got here today, we were making homemade bread. So we're giving our shot at that. See what shakes out. And she's like, "You have to help me. You're better at baking." And I'm like, "You just do what's on the instructions." So when I get home, let's see how the fresh baked bread is, and then we're gonna make chicken wings tonight.
So girls soccer got win number 2 Friday night.
They won. They
Up
beat
at
Carroll,
Carroll.
so they're 2 wins.
We got 2 wins.
I'm not buying them pizza again.
You didn't-
I'm
it's
just
like you didn't
one
make a
time.
bet for
One
2
time.
wins, so.
Nope, he's making bread for him instead.
Yeah, I'll bring that in. They can eat that. Pick at that. Boys soccer, they play Monday. So tomorrow, our podcasts have already come out. Will come out after that. But they play at Creston for the first round of Class 2A Region 8. Mm-hmm. Girls golf, we already touched on that. They got second place in their regional. They'll be going on to Leon Golf and Country Club for their next round on 5/15. Boys golf got 6 at their sectional, so they're done. Graduate 4 seniors: Tyler Beeson, Cyrus Menson, Baz Clear, and old Hunter Jarrett. He was one of my bowlers. You gotta love old Hunter. Girls tennis, they lost in the first round, and the boys lost in the first round as well. State track preview. I think Bryce will have some input on this because he's our track preview expert. But state for track, like I said, Red Oak, we had Braden Sifford qualified in 3 events, and then Jocelyn qualified in 3 events as well for Red Oak. To run down the different teams in the Hawkeye 10, for boys, Shenandoah have 11 events. Also in 2A, Clarinda has 8, Kemper has 8, Class 3A, Atlantic has 11, Creston has 5, Denison has 2, Glenwood has 10, Harlan has 8, Lewis Central has 9, and then over at 1A, St. Albert's has 9. For girls, 2A, Shan has 6, let's see, Clarinda has 7, Kemper has 3, 3A, Atlantic has 8, Creston has 3, Denison has 3, Glenwood has 11, Harlan has 5, LC has 11, and for 1A, St. Albert's has 11. So Hawkeye 10 is well represented at the state qualifier.
154 kids in relays qualify
For
the Hawk 10.
For the Hawk 10.
For the
That's
Hawk 10 in totality.
pretty impressive, I'd have to say. I know our meet, the 2A meet over in Trainer, very, very good athletes. I would say we were probably the toughest 2A state qualifier.
I saw some of the results from that one as they were rolling in. I was cheering, not cheering them on, but I was happy for the Rozzy kid finally broke 50 in the 400. I've really been sitting there going, okay, when's he going to do it? When's he going to do it? And by golly, he finally did it.
Knocked it out.
State meet. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, big shout out that you mentioned breaking 50. Our boy Jack Kling broke 50 at Morningside. Yes.
Heck yeah.
So he's under 50 now. So he was at the state qualifier, and I got to see him. And I saw him walk across the field, and big old smile on my face because I just everybody needs a Jack Kling in their life. You got to love that kid. But yeah, he broke 50, which is huge. Love seeing that. But you guys also had a heck of a state qualifier.
Our district or
your district.
Oh God. Yeah, that was. I was texting one of the LC girls coaches. He was at Atlantic last year, and we were just talking that our district was a buzzsaw in all capacities.
Oh,
because
yeah.
You had the Cyclones from Harlan, and then you got ADM with Dahl and Flora, who were Iowa State and Iowa.
Correct. Yeah.
Flora's Iowa State. Yeah, and those 4 sprinters there, Sorfenden and Sears and Flora and Dahl. It's just all right. Where are you going to place after
Just
those?
a show right
Those
there.
4, you had that, and then you had some some solid throwers. Creston's a little freshman. I don't know if he's little, but he's a thickin'. But he throw that shot 54 feet for first place for us. Distance-wise, was pretty solid. Even just in all phases of it. The one team I was surprised that they sent down our way was Storm Lake, which is
that's a haul.
2 hours 15 minutes is what I talked to one of their coaches.
They had to have drove by a 3-8.
They had to have. I really did think they were going to go to Sergeant Bluff.
That'd be over farther though.
Yep.
So yeah,
It'd be a lot closer.
Yep.
It would be a lot closer.
Well, and in the infinite wisdom of our association, of our union, they sent us that.
You gotta love the association.
I
It's all
really
the association's
do.
fault. It's not the union's fault.
LC goes north. LC went north, and they sent Storm Lake down. But even Storm Lake had some dudes. They had double placed in the mile. I think their 32 runner qualified third overall behind the 2 Glenwood boys, which was really cool to see. Their high jumper for the girls ended up winning. I mean, it was just top to bottom one of the best meets that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I mentioned that. I think I said it to you. I would have liked to have, if our meets were on different nights, I could have came over and watched your guys' meet because there's some talent running that night.
Yeah.
That Eichhorn from LC,
yeah.
he's a fun kid to watch. Those longer races are a little brutal to watch. The sprints are always funner because they're quick and they're done, right?
Yep.
But watching those kids run those distance and watch the speed of them run those distances is pretty amazing.
Miles not bad to watch when it's done in 4 minutes and 46 seconds.
It's when it gets painful is when you see kids that are going 6 and 6.5.
Yeah.
Like, come on, let's wrap this up. Come on.
And he's running a 4:46. The kid for the top one from Pella is running a 4:23. That's moving right along for a mile.
Yeah, it's probably not that much different from 4A either, for that matter. I mean,
Yeah,
I think Ankeny had their best guy that he was going like 420 something this season, but I wish I knew that number off the top of my head. So there you go. Thanks, Coach.
Harlan won state last year, didn't they?
No,
boys, or
they got second overall. I think 416.65.
That's cooking a little bit.
104.
The Ankeny got the sprinters too.
Ankeny, well, they had the golden goose of the century transfer into their district or transfer into their school last year for the winter set. So.
What's their 100 times?
10.
Keep scrolling.
Yeah. I don't think the winter set kid.
Ankeny Centennial.
Fairchild, there he is, 1072, and he would have gotten third or fourth in our district. Fairchild in that one. 1066 still wouldn't have even touched it. That's how stacked we were.
3A was just floating. Luke Sayankin, he's in. He used to run here at Red Oak. He's at Sioux City West now. No, Sioux City East. Yep, Sioux City East. He's in with a 10.91. Loudon Grimsley, he was at Lawton Bronson, and now he's at Sioux City East. Ran a 10.86. He ran a 22 something at AL this year. Wind aided.
That was that meet where everyone and their mother was having really good.
Everyone was having good nights. But yeah, because he's a 22.06. What he ran, but yeah, he was floating tonight at AL. But
it was crazy to watch, and I even looking at some of these kids now. It's wow, you would have gotten smoked. But I mean, you're looking at 4A 400s right now. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. Seven guys that are going sub 50. Slowest 149.96, fastest 149.25. Like that is.
You're gonna have to bring it.
Woo! Some guy ran a 50.05 and got third.
What is there teams that you think are pretty well favored to win as a team? I mean, not looking at individuals. I mean, there's kids that are pretty well ahead of the pack, but do you think there's teams that are kind of ahead of the game? I think Shan has a darn good shot at winning it.
Shan, so I went through because I don't sleep at night sometimes either. As you and I are in the same boat on that.
It's all making sense why you guys get along and are friends.
Yes. It's those PE majors.
It's all those little crazy in you.
Yeah. That they weren't even in my top 5.
Really?
No, they weren't. So I broke it down based off of the seedings that we got from the state on this. Your top 2A boys teams, which is going to be a tight race: Trainer, Mediapolis, Spirit Lake, Iowa Falls, Alden, and Underwood. That the 4 of those or the 5 of those is separated by less than 4 points. 42 to win the meet by trainer Underwood at number 5 of 38. I think Shen was like 35.
35.
So they were pretty darn close, and that was just based off seedings.
Yeah. Three
Dumb things happen in track.
3 of those
so.
teams were at the same qualifier. Underwood, Trainer, and Shan.
Yeah.
Shan won it, I believe, the qualifier.
Yep.
Yeah.
96 points.
Same football district.
ADM had their horses got enough in them to take 3A then.
No. The other team that I saw how fast that face turned. I got them going second by a pretty good amount. So bottom up, Pella at number 4, 48 points. Bishop, Heelan, Harlan, ADM, West Dubuque, Epworth.
Okay.
West Dubuque has upwards of 70 points.
Yeah, I mean, just looking at here, they got 2 in the 100.
Mm-hmm. Now, don't get me wrong. It's yes, you're going to score points if you're ADM, no matter what you do. You just sit and look at it now. Yeah, you're probably going to get both your guys to the finals, but do you have enough firepower and everything else that you do to get the 4th, the 5th, the 6th? That's what Western Dubuque did to end up getting it. I mean,
Because I'm sure Dole and Flora 1, 2, 4x1 and 4x2.
yeah, that's what they ran the other
So
day.
I mean that's what they're gonna. You figure 10, 10, give them 40 right there.
Yep.
And then another 16 for second. Let's say they top out. So that's 56 points right there.
Yeah.
But what are they doing the rest of the meet?
Well, it's what I'm trying to pull up right now. So Epworth, or let's focus on ADM like you were just saying on there. ADM got them 3 first place finishes between the 1, the 2, and the 4x1. You got second place finish in the 4x2. You're getting third places in the 1 and the 2 if Flora and Dahl do their job. But then it's a big gap. They get a 7th place finish in the 4 lows. That's Lohman, who, by all accounts and purposes, probably could have gone 52 or less. Maybe not 52. He probably would have been a 54. I think he hit that last hurdle coming down the home stretch. But then you got Lohman in the four lows, and then you got a long jumper getting 8th and a discus getting 8th. So it's that gap in between those 4 or 5, or 3, 4, 5 points in 4th, 5th, and 6th that you're missing out on. So and that's why, by the numbers, that's why they're not going to be doing as well by comparative.
Yeah, their long jumpers are 21.
Yeah. My God, 21 feet.
And you're still 21-2, and he's still 8th best.
Yeah. That's all I got. I got to give props to my boy Colton Rasmussen. You know, he ended up PRing at the state meet or state qualifying meet. He was hitting about a high 20 all season, and goes and pops off an 8-inch PR at the meet. Well, and then also the shout out to him. He just committed to Simpson basketball today. So
Nice.
Super awesome for him.
Athletic kid.
Oh God, yeah. Well, I mean, you guys talked about it with your boys in here a while back that he was one of the toughest guys to guard.
Yeah,
in the,
absolutely.
yeah, he's awesome. He's quiet, but he's a good kid. I'm
Yes.
excited to see where he ends up going.
Sister went there?
Yes, she's a junior, I believe. Just made I think she made one of their second teams or first teams in the area. So she's clearly an athletic family.
The kid from Gilbert doing the high jump, he jumped 6'5". Dylan Zwigler. You know me, I can't pronounce, so Kip, just get it there so you can pronounce it for me.
You'll know faces and you'll get the first letter right.
Right
I
there.
got you.
Number 3.
Zwan Ziegler.
Zwana Ziegler.
Let's say the first Z is
Zwan
silent. Juan Ziegler.
Well, anyways, I remember him when I was at Gilbert. He would have been a freshman. He was very uncoordinated. He was that baby giraffe.
Mm-hmm.
And that's pretty cool to see him jumping 6'5", now being, a couple inches away from being a state champ.
Yeah, interesting that they gave him the extra quarter inch that they were bumping up quarter inches this time as opposed to half inches. That's slightly interesting.
They got it down to a science there at Gilbert. I think that was a North Polk meet.
Yep, North Polk is where they ran, which that was also good. I mean,
That's a home meet for all of them. Ballard, North Polk, Gilbert. I mean,
there was only one district I was really confused about why they did it the way they did, and that was Sadell. Because they brought everybody from the Grinnells, the Oskaloosa's, the Knoxvilles.
Brought them over.
Pella brought them over, and instead of having it in, I don't know, I'd say Grinnell was where they were going to put it, but maybe
yeah, because Sadell you'd think would be with Ballard and those guys.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's locally, but we talked about on our last episode. about Sadell playing against Shenandoah in tennis, and Sadell coming to Shan, and then Red Oak going to North Polk.
That's
You know that area, and those schools are north and south of Ankeny.
yeah. So it was dumb. I get why.
When Red Oak had to play Southwest Valley, it was 20 minutes away.
Yeah,
And North Polk.
at North Polk.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to Coach Johnson. He had to take him down there because Coach Rawlings was getting married. But
Yeah.
I did text Tristan after the last episode and said I should have had you on sooner because we jumped 285 subscribers with him being on the show. So should have thought of that sooner. Yeah, it'll be fun. Sue Ann French, our track coach, she's very hyper. You've seen her, but she always tells the kids, "I'm going to state. Like, are you coming with? Like, I'm going to state." So me and Sue Ann, we love going to state. It's like I said, a great vacation. There's nothing like the Blue Oval.
Never. Well, just make sure you don't drop a baton in front of Coach Brent.
We got a little worked up that meet, but hey, pick up the dang baton. Let them DQ you. Don't DQ yourself.
Correct.
It forced them to make the judgment call.
There was my first year. This was way back when dirt was a new concept. When I was coaching at Ames under Ben Dewey, and I was at the Iowa State indoor meet. I was standing on the back where they would start the 60s. And there was a kid coming around, I think it was the 4x2 or something, and the kid dropped the baton, and I want to say it was a green, I want to say it was like Southeast Warren or something like that. They dropped the baton, and the kid looked at me, and I said, "Pick it up and run."
Yeah.
Okay. Took it and ran, which is great, but why wouldn't you just take the shot at it?
Come
on.
Like, just go. Pick up the darn thing. And the worst part about that whole ordeal was me and Sue Ann were yelling at him, plus the starter, plus the clerk. Like, everybody in the stands probably yelling, like, just pick up the darn thing.
Yeah, I feel bad for the kid just a little bit, because, that's a lot of people yelling.
Oh, yeah. And
it's pressure. Too.
Those are two freshmen.
Oh, really?
Yeah, two
Wow.
freshmen. So, it's...
That's a good lesson to learn, though.
Yeah, learn it early, boys.
Yep.
Parents of coaches or
Yeah.
former coaches.
Former coaches and administration. They'll figure it out. Both soccer players, too. They were missing practice for soccer, so they must have missed the pick up the baton and run day. they were over kicking a ball. But yeah, so I'm excited for state. Hawkeye 10 will definitely be well represented and be fun to see those kids compete. Like I said, I love the morning session. It's way better than the afternoon session.
You don't have to deal with the traffic.
Yes.
That is priority number one.
The only downfall is like watching it under the lights. It gets kind of fun those nights when it's super late, but just brutal. The traffic in and then the traffic out and just everything about it. The morning session, you get it done, go relax, go eat at Buzzard Billy's, and then go home and relax. I called the parents today, wish Mom a happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Yeah, happy Mother's Day to all the moms. And I told them, hey, I'll be in Des Moines Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, so if you want to come take me out for supper, you can. So I'm assuming they're going to make the trek. My dad hates driving in Des Moines, so maybe I'll meet him somewhere outside and get that done.
Looks like decent weather, maybe.
It should be for once. If it's not scorching hot, it's going to be drizzly and miserable. It's never beautiful for the state
It's
track.
like Drake.
Yeah, it's very
Drake weekend, so it's going to rain.
Yeah, something. It's not going to be good weather. So I'll be definitely getting a snow cone and eating a lot and getting fat. So baseball. Anything exciting in MLB, Kip? You're our baseball guy.
Can't even tell you.
Cubs still suck like usual.
No, just
fly the L.
Fly the L.
You're not a Phillies fan too, are you?
No, I don't. Unfortunately, my grandfather brainwashed me at an early age to be a Braves fan. So that is.
It's been better than
It has been, but at the same time.
You had a good beginning of your life as a Braves fan, and it's a little better now. I mean, they're not horrible right now. They're a pretty good program. Oh, they're right behind the Phillies.
There you go. Wow.
Phillies 28-13, Braves 24-12. They'll figure it out by the end. Cubs 24-17. Both teams worse than the Phillies. No big deal.
Cubs just went up against Paul Skeens. He was that first overall pick from LSU. Probably more famous for being Mr. Libby Dunn. Libby Dunn from LSU. So it was his MLB debut, and he ended up being like a big rain delay. And Cubs ended up losing. We don't need to talk about it.
That's all right.
That's 11-11 on the road. Make a wish. Well, that's about the extent of our professional. If it's not football, we're not really talking about it. So, once I think scroll down a little bit. Let's see who's leading the West. Yep, Phillies are number 1 in the NL. No big deal. That's what we'll live with. So, all right. Well, let's jump into some topics here for Bryce and go over some more stuff. Track and football at Atlantic. Coaching track. What's the most difficult part you think for you or for anybody coaching track?
Where to start? I mean, it's like I said earlier. I'd started at Ames, and that kind of taints you just a little bit because you have kids that are track only.
Focus,
You have, and there are cross country kids in there too. But we had Hope Morgan who just got done at Morningside a couple of years back. You have Bernard Bell, Anaya Cook. You had all these kids, Kasim Doman, that they focused specifically on track the entire year.
We're under attack.
At the deck. But you had kids that were so invested in getting really good for that sport. And that showed in the spring because you would have off-season workouts twice a week. And it'd be something super easy, like going out for mileage and that sort if you weren't cross country. But then coming down to Southwest Iowa, and you have kids that are in basketball, wrestling, baseball starts up, February, like late February or early March at this rate. Like, I've got kids that are going to pitch, and one of my seniors is playing baseball this year, and I don't knock Jace for that. He loves the sport. But it's looking at him, hey man, we're in season right now. We have priority in track. You understand that, right? Yeah, I just really want to go out and pitch. I'm fine if you go out and pitch. Just don't hurt yourself because you hurt yourself. You're on your own, kid.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's that balancing act, and part of it is just being politically savvy with your other coaches in there. We talk with our boys basketball coach every now and again. Hey, how long are you going to need? It's like our shot putter that made it in there. He's our center, Gavin McLaren. And it's just trying to make sure that he's getting the work in for basketball that he needs to do to be at the apex of that sport while still potentially starting to put in the work for his rotation and his shot put and getting him ready for that. And then it's just the planning. It's really what I start my planning process right after football ends. My wife hates it, but she understands. Like it's more fun for me. It's not work.
A good coach's wife always hates us.
She really and she said it today before we left the in-laws. She goes, "I'm so happy that state track is next week. So that way I have him home." I said, "Well, I'm going to be announcing baseball, sweetie. So sorry about that."
Well, track, we talked about it the last few episodes, like, that spring is just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And, I always say that football is the craziest, but honestly, it's the spring. The spring with the end of school year, track, just baseball starting, everything's just piling up. And it's just, you're trying to get too much stuff done. And, yeah, it's just, the spring is nuts.
You got golf, soccer, tennis, track.
Yeah.
Tail end of baseball, or tail end of basketball, beginning of tail end of basketball, thank you.
Yeah.
Beginning of baseball. You got seniors graduating, graduation parties, you've got Drake relays in there, you've got finals, you've got AP testing. There's just and
2 track meets a week.
2 track meets
sometimes
a week.
3.
They say, we scheduled more days in the spring, so that way you have that for an
spring vocal concert.
Spring vocal concert, show choir, speech and debate, like it's everything. Gone.
Yeah.
February hits, and then it's May. Look at this. This is great.
Now we got summer.
Yeah. I mean, it's the whole planning of it. It's really what it is. I put my stuff together. I start chatting with my guys. Hey, what do you want to do this year? What do we want to try to make happen? And February 20th hits, and then we got a month of prep time, and you better hit the ground running because everyone else already has.
Yeah.
So I enjoy it. I enjoy having that I don't know how to say that challenge in front of your face that you literally have to be ready because there's some kids that this is all they do.
Yes.
You better be ready to compete with Sears, who's doing, I don't know if he did basketball. I probably did.
I think he did.
I think so.
But you got to be ready to compete with that kid, and you haven't done anything since last year.
Yeah.
That's a problem for you. So
Do you guys have weights class?
Yes.
during the school
Yep.
day? And do you have blocks or periods?
Periods.
Periods.
Coach,
So
yeah.
is there because we kind of have an issue with our weights program with periods. I mean, 43 minutes really isn't enough time to get a good solid workout. And do you have kids that then do come in the morning, afternoon, or do you they just focus on their weights period and call it good?
So this last year, Coach Best, our throws coach also at Atlantic, he started a new weights class. So we have weights 1, which is our introduction to weights. You know, get kids comfortable with being in a weight room, throwing some weight around, have some fun. Here's how you bench, here's how you breathe when you squat. And then we have advanced weights, which is code for athlete weights.
Yeah.
Which is like, hey man, it's Coach Best. It's not Mr. Best. It's Coach. You better be ready to rock. But the 43-minute thing is always a problem. He goes in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But they got to do some sort of Olympic movement. It's not the hang cleans and the power cleans, which personally I love, but that's neither here nor there. Coach Brummer, our football coach, will do off-season weights in the morning, optional, 100% optional. Of course, it's optional to win too, and it's optional to play. So we phrase it that, and then if there's
Optional, required, optional, however you want to phrase it.
Hey, it's you don't have to suit up every single game. It's if you want to put in the work. We'll do some after-school stuff here and there. We try to give the kids as much opportunity as they can. You look at our basketball guys who will have practice at 6 in the morning. Well, then they're toast. They're not going to be able to do morning weights. That's fine. You're in basketball right now. You're not going to get penalized for football weights. But then the expectation is that in weights class you're going balls to the wall because you're only doing it 2-3 days a week.
Yeah, you're still getting something done.
Yes. So I mean, it works out well enough. I mean, you can ask some of my kids. I'm pretty sure that I know I push them pretty hard, but I don't think they have a problem really with ever burning out if they do. And if they do, it's all right, let's just ease it back today. We'll still same volume, less intensity, easy problem to fix.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. I know me and Kip, we're big Tony Holler, Feed the Cats people. And everybody has their different, I'm kind of intrigued. I talked to a lot of coaches during meets, so you get kind of quick overviews of what people do. It kind of intrigues me about what they do in a given track week or track practice. What's it look like for you? Let's say, we're all working hard before the season starts, right? The month and a half where we don't have a meet. But let's say you got a meet, you have a regular week where you have a meet Monday and Thursday. What are you doing with your kids those practice days? Do you have like a really get after it day, or are you kind of focusing on that Tony Holler? We're working on jumping and kind of explosiveness and stuff like that. What's your meet week look like?
If we're going a Monday and a Thursday meet, which I think serendipitously is what we did with you guys before we had to cancel that right off, which sucked, but it is what it is. Monday we'll have that. Our guys that don't run the varsity or that don't go to that meet, we will have morning practice that day, and it's usually that standard. We're doing 1,200 meters of volume at yellow pace. Standard rest procedure, all that mess. We'll get them out of the way so that way we're preparing that next generation of guys or that next group. And we're finding our guys that are kind of on the bubble for varsity time, and they end up running at the state qualifying meet. Afternoon, we have the meet. Tuesday, because we did such an intense practice Monday morning and you guys ran a meet, the next day it's a shakeout, it's a yoga day, it's, hey, let's go out there, let's have a little bit of fun. We'll refine some specific things. So we always do our shakeout jog, the slowest mile you've ever seen is what we call it. Call it the grandma mile. It is what it is. I'm fine with it.
Kids probably love it.
Oh, they take off. I tell them it's not even a full mile. It's four laps around the turf. You take your shoes off, so that way you just let the feet breathe. They smell anyways. It's all right, guys. It's turf. We'll go inside to do some yoga. We'll watch film. We have 4 managers that do a really good job of filming all of our races. So we'll break things down. Hey, what did you see here? Why do we take off late? And talk through that and kind of get through the cerebral side of track. Wednesday, depending again on who's going to that Thursday meet, you might have a little more intense practice. Usually that's about a medium intensity day. We'll do some exchange chases. We call fox and hare. So we'll have a guy stationed out at the first. This is referencing turn 1 or turn 2 rather. So you'll go to where your fox will go to the 400 lows, where the first 400 low hurdle would go, and then you're in the exchange zone. You set your zone up, put your 2 tennis balls down, This guy takes off as soon as he hits your zone. You, the hare, are trying to get out of the lane before he gets to you.
Oh.
And it's kind of that competition day as well. And our guys that have a meet that next day, they'll do exchange, actually working the batons and working that stop sign, candlestick exchange. Thursday morning we'll do the same thing we did Monday morning. Y'all have a meet, and we're all gonna, or you'll have practice, or you'll have the meet, and then Friday it's kind of all right. Let's change things up a little bit. Let's go play basketball. Let's go upstairs and lift as a group. Let's go do yoga in Smith's room, where inevitably it gets weird, but they're high school boys. What do you expect?
We had that weird situation in football. They wanted hot. If we're gonna do yoga, we want a hot girl teaching it. So I'm like, okay. So I typed in hot girl yoga, and bad idea. So delete, and typed in a new one.
We've got the one we always look at. There's one that we do a follow along. There's a guy on YouTube. It's called Bodyweight Warrior, that he does yoga walkthroughs and all that stuff. But they always think it's weird to point it out that he's not wearing shoes while he's doing it. Like, guys, he's doing yoga. Well, he's wearing toe socks. Well, what do you want me to do about it? I mean, he's got 13 million subscribers, and you're sitting there sweating after 200.
Complaining about his toe socks.
Yes, that's what's weird about it. But then they get in downward dog, and someone farts, and it's in front of the fan, and then it all breaks loose.
They 14 to 18-year-old boys. They're all the same no matter where you go.
Absolutely. So, but that's our week to week. The lead up into that is it's going, and you're running. We'll start the season at a pretty low intensity and pretty low volume, high or not a lot of rest either within that build cardiovascular conditioning, and then we'll start about the time Drake is when we start tapering, when we're going to go drop in volume, drop intensity, or increase intensity, drop in volume. So my guys this week are only going to do 600 meters of sprinting total. Day to day, that is, just to get them kind of prepped and primed for their events. The guys that do 4s, well, you're going to do like 350s, 500s, somewhere in there to get your mind right. The guys or Ty, who's doing the 1, he'll do a couple 150s here and there just to emphasize that A, the cardiovascular conditioning, but B, that emphasis of what we call finish through the line. We talked about it early in the season where it's, hey, if you're in a 100-meter race, you better be running 110.
Yeah.
Because about the time that the guy next to you runs 95, and that helps you help the team out with getting the points, and it carries over to some of our younger ones too. So,
that makes sense.
And then it's also fun too because they hold each other accountable.
Yeah.
They sit and look at each other. Hey man, why can you slow down and I can't?
Yeah.
Right. And then you got to watch that because it'll get pretty aggressive. we had that problem last year, but neither here nor there. It's a good time.
Managers in the film probably help out with that.
Oh, buddy, do they? And I got one manager. She does not take crap from anybody. She is. If she is direct as direct can be, we kind of like what you guys have with your football, where it's header, it's assistant, and then it's managers after that. And if the managers have a problem with one of y'all, then they're going to report it to us, and then I'm going to have a problem with you.
Yeah.
And then the power dynamic gets a little weird at the beginning of the season because you get some freshmen that want to test the waters and say, oh, are they in it for the long haul? And then Riley will she'll snap at them pretty quickly.
Are they doing that on iPads or?
They do it on So we use our iPads from the football program. I've got them in my room because I do all of our football stuff or all of our iPad stuff on the sidelines during football games. So I'll have like 3-4 iPads at any given moment and say, all right, here's the play. Run it through. All right, who missed this block on that side? All right, this is the guy you're aiming for. Boom, boom, gun, go. And it works out pretty well for us. We have managers that do that too. We use them, that's for sure. They get tired of me yelling sometimes. One of them had to get after me the other day saying, hey man, I'm not doing anything wrong. I need you to calm down. Gotcha, kid.
Yep. I'm just a little high strung. I just got to deal with it.
Yep.
That's what when I was at Gilbert, they had always, the girl would hand me the iPad, and every time I'm like, what's the password? And she's like, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I'm like, okay, next time, what's the password? She's like, I'm just going to start typing it in. I'm like, that's perfect, just type it in. I don't want to waste time.
Thank you.
And I'll be all like, calm down, Nordy. I'm like, okay, I'm fine. Give me some water. I'll be fine.
So I thought about like for junior high, even just using our huddle sideline.
Yeah.
Like, hey, can you just take this for us?
I would really, and I know a lot of teams have these, so I think that most teams, or a lot of teams, need to start live streaming their meets. Because,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like we had family members from our team this year that weren't able to go watch for some system or another. I think it'd be really cool because then you could just put it on that live panoramic view.
Yeah.
You've been to our stadium. It can go all the way up and see the shot rings from way high up, and then go all the way out to the tennis courts on the other side. There's no reason, aside from maybe the 100, the shuttle, and the 110s, that you can't see anything.
Yeah, you'd still be able to see that if you did the panoramic and you locked it in on the whole complex.
Yeah.
You'd be able to see the race, and it would be fine.
Yeah.
And you can always put the scoreboard in the corner so they can see the times and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that. I have a brilliant idea for track. So baton, right? So they have it to where you can. In the baton they have the chips now, and you get the 400 time. Boom, because you're handing it off at the line every time. So what if they did like a bracelet and had so on the first leg, you're second, third, and then we have the fourth leg for the 4x1. So when I hand it off to you, the baton registers that, oh, I handed it off, and now you have control of it with your wristband on. So now we can get splits based off of the 4x1, 4x2. It just, you have to wear them in order. So I have wristband 1 because I'm the first leg. Boom, second leg. Now we have splits. Now we have everything. Boom, right there. They got that amazing voice at Drake and at
Mike J would have that live.
And he would be able to boom, boom, boom. Here's your splits for the
Josh
title.
Kipley with a 21 flat 4x2 first play.
You know,
don't sell yourself short now.
But
That's
I
100.
thought about that the other day. That'd be perfect. That's $1 million deal right there. Because Drake and Penn Relays, first of all, would want it.
Oh, yeah.
Oregon would buy it in a heartbeat.
I think you do it that way, or I mean, you could. The only other way that you could do that is you go single tracker inside the baton itself, put an air tag in there or something.
Yeah.
And then you set a geo mark within the track itself.
Yeah.
And instead of having to have 4 baton or 4 bracelets per group, and then you got to pull all those off, and
You
you
get
the
the
rest
next
of the guys.
one, yep.
It's just here you go, exchange. All right. Well, there's
You'd have to set it up in the track.
Yeah. Doing that.
But I see. I mean,
Look at you go.
it's almost as good as my Pooper app.
Pooper app.
So it's like Uber, but let's say you're driving down the road at 2 in the morning, you've really got to go. All the gas stations are closed. You hop on the Pooper app, and it looks like the Nordines at this address, they'll let you come use their bathroom. For $20, it's unlimited toilet paper, right? You can just pop in there and like, boom, bada bing, bada boom. Like,
Excuse me.
I'm here for the Pooper app. Like, it's
Little check-in, check-out QR code on the
it's
outside.
perfect. It's
I feel like
perfect.
that's potentially could be abused for other nefarious reasons. Like,
Yeah, but that's extra pay.
I'm here to poop, and now you don't have a TV.
I'm here to poop, and now wait a second. Why is the door locked? What? And there's no window. I'm stuck in here from now on. But yeah, just a couple ideas I had.
I thought
People
you were going like,
steal
which
that.
gas station's still open that I can.
That's
I
it.
can go.
Yeah.
We live in Southwest Iowa. You don't need no gas station. Just hold on to the bumper. You'll be all right.
Just pull over the dark road. But yeah. So back to track. Do you guys do any times instead of distance, or do you guys strictly work with do a run of 150 for your 100-meter guys instead of you're running 12 seconds hard?
I'm going to shift to that next year to change that mentality. I pulled this. I've used the same program since I was at Ames, where it was the same. Your intensity goes down, your volume does this just a little bit, and I'm finding that there's some kids that do really like that, and then the other ones are like, I want to compete for time and time alone. So that's one thing that I've talked with a couple of my incoming seniors. And they're like, yeah, that'd be fun every once in a while to try it, just to see. I give them certain times. So at the beginning of the season, about 2 weeks into the season, we hold 200-meter time trials. And then we do a 150 stress test, which is 150 3 times with 3-minute rest. And what that does is that gives me a perspective 400 time on that athlete as well. You add up those times.
400 predictor, that's a Tony Holler thing.
I love it, and that's where I got it from. Matt
Never been
Molinek.
smart enough to understand how it worked, but
Yep.
I recognize it.
Yep. Matt Molinek, our girls coach, talked to me about that. We set up our free lap. It's lane 7 way down here, and then lane 7 all the way down here, and it's 3 minutes and go. But we do that at the beginning of the season, and then about that week 3, I start stratifying your groups. This is my A team, this is my B team, this is my C team. Now my A team, we know who those guys are. Those are the varsity athletes, the guys that qualify for state. The B team guys, they're the could be on the varsity team, could not be on the varsity team, could be alternate if needed on there. And then the C team guys are usually the freshmen that don't, or the throwers that are just going out there to run. And I can never get mad at those kids.
And the 4x5, best race there is.
We call it the thick man 4x1. That ain't, well, here's the thing, at Dowling, our big man 4x1, the anchor of it now plays defensive end universities, the Bulls down in Florida.
South Florida.
That's the one.
Yeah.
But
he's got an 8th grader, Devin Poe, who's going to be a lineman on the football team. Probably D lineman more than O lineman, but he's placing. He gets 6th place in the 100-meter dash.
We just had all the throwers, put him in the 100, like get a little faster. From like the 3rd to last heat, he got 6th.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah, I love it when that happens. So I mean,
go big boy.
2 years ago, we had, what was it? It was an offensive lineman, a defensive lineman, a middle backer, and then our nose tackle as a sophomore, who at the time was like 270 pounds, come barreling down the way at an anchor leg, and they didn't pull the blocks out of lane 1. He tripped over the blocks, did a flying barrel roll midair, kind of like your long jumper did at conferences. He got up, he goes, "I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good." His bad part is our guy for the long jump. He meant to do that. Suann showed him a video from 1979 of a guy doing it when he got banned, and Cyrus mentioned you do not show him stuff like that because he will try it. And there he goes. He front flipped and he got about 12.5, and they marked it. They didn't scratch it. I was surprised. I figured they'd scratch it. On his long jump.
On his first jump. Because I was sitting talking to my little freshman. We were looking at film. I heard, what? And I see Michael.
Yeah, I love stuff like that. Had some fun out there. But then he ended up jumping 17.10, I think it was his longest one. But I saw him jump at districts. I was walking in. I drove myself, had to stay for seminar. And walking up, and I'm like, oh, there's Cyrus jumping. So I watch him, and he jumps through the air. And his legs get way too high, and he just butt right to the ground. I'm like, that had to hurt a little bit. So
big pass on that.
Pass. He was learning. He's the type of kid that we're like, you're an athlete, so you're gonna long jump today. He's like, okay, yeah, I'm good.
That's what we did with this last year with Colton, because we had him, and then we had a freshman, McNeil, who I tell him to his face, you don't weigh more than a popcorn fart, dude. You're gonna be able to fly. You just build up speed, jump. You'll be fine.
Get to max speed and jump as far as you can.
Yep. But back to your question on that, we stratify everybody out based on their times, and then throughout the season we'll reassess and see how kids are going. If a kid in B group is beating the brakes off of the time that I give him to do a 200 meter dash, you need, or a 200 for training, you need to go somewhere between 26.12 and 29.7, sure, whatever. Well, if he's sitting there going 25.9, 25.9, 25.7, and constantly beating those times, well, he's meriting a chance to go up in those groups. And same thing can say for the converse. If a kid needs to go down, he needs to go down because it's too fast for him, and we can figure out pretty quickly who those kids are. And then we just move and groove as we need to go. We had a thrower this last year that ended up moving from the bottom of the B group all the way up to our A group, and he ran 4x2 for us at districts. So, and that's the McLaren kid again, who's just an athlete. One, but B, just it
Super competitive kid.
It does, and that's what it does.
Is he the last one?
No, there's one more, little Benny. But what it does is it makes them compete with each other.
Yes.
Because they look right at each other and say, you're the one that's going to keep me from getting on varsity spots. I'm going to beat you in every single rep. So coach knows that I am the one that deserves that spot.
Are these stuff that you post for them to just so they can see it, or is it the things they just know?
I tell them before every single
So they
rep.
just know.
Hey, A group this time, B group this time, C group this time. And if you're in that C group and you're not hitting that time in there, you might need to reassess your life choices here just a little bit.
Yes.
You're over there hooping and hollering, and then you're telling me, oh, I don't feel good. Well, you just ate 3 slices of Casey's pizza before coming to practice. I wonder why you don't feel good.
We had a kid eat chicken and rice. Riley found it's like one of my first practices here during the summer. And he's like, I don't feel good. I was like, well, what'd you eat? He's like, chicken and rice like 5 minutes ago. I'm like, well, that's why. Like that thing just curling in there in your stomach. You're gonna lose it.
First junior high track meet, of the year we were in Creston a couple of years ago. He's like, I got a stomach ache. I was just on the toilet. I'm like, well, what have you had to eat? I had like 4 Pop-Tarts on the bus right here.
That might do it.
Very truly.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, yeah, maybe not do that.
Maybe next time don't do that,
Now we
bud.
know.
I think
That's great.
I think those kids do it on purpose, so that way we can use them as examples.
Yeah.
I really do. Like, and no one's immune to it. Our first day of green speed training, which is our fastest that we go during the season, one of our bubble athletes had trail mix and Babel cheese right before practice, and he met it. He met it again real quick, right about during the middle of practice. I said, "You doing okay?" He goes, "I'm fine, coach. I got to finish the rep." Nope, you're done for the day.
Like
What you are.
You
So,
might want to take a break there, bud. That's great.
Speaking of eating, we do a 4x thick. I
Yeah.
called it the 4x thick. Doing a body
Yeah,
shame,
I think
guys.
4x fat is out the window now. It's 4x thick.
Thick's more socially acceptable. But the Glenwood meet will do it. So last year, hopefully it's technically illegal, but we had summer sausage. So we went like fastest guy to slowest guy, and our big old
Big
Sammy
little
Gonzalez,
Sammy.
we're last by like 20 seconds. Like the first team crossed the line, he hadn't gotten the baton sliced summer sausage yet, and he just looks up at me. I'm up in the stands, getting times and laughing at this point, and he just takes a bite out of it before he crosses the finish line. So this year, like, they had all 7th graders had heard about it because we let the 8th graders do it. They did a cookie dough. So like, well, my mom brought the
Pillsbury baton.
So it's like, my mom brought the cookie dough. Like, do you have a cookie and keep it ice? I'm like, yes. So I kept it on ice till about it's the 800 for us, about the race before. Race starts, we hear double like guns. We like without crap, they saw it and they're gonna DQ us. No, it was like some other kid. I don't know if they even took the team out.
Perfect.
So we do it again and like so after the run off, they all rip it into 4 pieces because it was like the edible.
Oh yeah, the good kind.
No,
without the
salmonella.
accident, yeah.
We had Eli Vucinic. He was trying to use a burrito one year, and he went up and asked the starter, like, "Can we use this?" She's like, "You don't have a baton." He had a baton in the other hand. He just throws it. He's like, "No." She's like, "Go get the baton."
I love it. We had so kind of the funsies that you guys are talking about in there. Since I started at Atlantic, we installed what's called the inter squad meet. Our seniors are going; they'll draft a fantasy team of the kids that we have out. One of the events in there, we call it the cracker eating contest. You get a sleeve of great value, extra saltine crackers. You get 2 guys, you have to eat it, but you have to do a 200 with it first. So you do guy 1, does his 200, hands it off. The guy comes back with 200. They both meet in the middle, and then they have to chew through the whole thing of crackers. No water.
Choking on them.
And there's kids.
You
that are
ready
like,
to get the Heimlich there?
Well, we tell kids. I mean, there was one just recently last year. Last year, it was a senior who thought it was a great idea to crunch them up and try to drink them.
Yeah, that's not a good idea.
Now he's in the Army, so it makes sense.
Yeah,
But
that all adds up.
yeah,
Well, I liked how you were talking about intensities and all that because it really reminded me of Dr. King and exercise physiology.
Oh, yeah,
at Iowa
Derek
State.
King. Derek King.
He'd give you 562 slides for one section, and it'd be 3 days of him just clicking through the stuff. Dude was brilliant, but so many slides. It was brutal. Molnex had him too at Iowa State, so I always bring it up to him, and he's like, Dr. King, great man. So
his California hat.
Yep.
Where he went had the Chef Boyardee mustache and the California hat.
and he always told the story of they were doing tests on when he was at University of California getting his doctorate, and when his buddy fell and shaved his nipples off from the treadmill. Just put in Dr. King.
No, that's going to be Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
Derrick, I think is
Just put Dr. King. Might not be.
Iowa State. Yeah.
Take the Derek out. I think it might not be Derek.
Well, he's not there anymore. He retired because one of my buddies, I've got his wedding this coming fall. His dad worked with
That ain't any of
Dr.
him.
Yeah. That's I have.
Oh, well.
That's not. That's not the.
Oh well,
It is what it
great
is.
professor, but he does tell a story about his buddy falling on the treadmill and he didn't have a shirt on and rubbed his nipples right off, just like sandpaper. I'm like,
You talk about
great story, thank you.
Iowa State. Have you ever told Coach Kip about Janice Baker?
Oh gosh, the greatest dance and tumbling teacher around. Oh gosh, I danced with I think
Jay Tepley.
me and Jay
You and
Tepley.
Jay, the two biggest guys.
I know Jay.
Yeah, he knows
Yeah.
Jay Tepley from you and I.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so me
He's
and
a
him.
left tackle, massive.
We did a lot of ballroom dancing together,
Okay.
and then me and the Lear boys. I think me and Bryce
Yep,
probably danced
yep,
together
yep,
because there was always 3 girls and 40 boys in the class. But
I danced with one of Jay Tipley's former roommates, was 6'8", 305 pounds. So I was the small guy. Which it doesn't happen.
And then Zeb Nolan was in that class too as well. But they made me do a back bend in tumbling, and I mean at the time I'm like 35 years old, and Miss Baker's like, "You'll be fine. They'll hold you," and I'm like, "They're not holding me. Like this is not right." I did it. I did the back bend. I didn't feel right for a week after, but Janice Baker.
She's still there, I think.
Oh,
She
good
is-
golly.
Yeah, she was quite the goober. There's times I talk
Iowa
about
State.
I talk about her during my thing. There she
Yeah,
is.
there she
Janice. What is up? Hello. I remember writing a very angry rate my professor on her, but here we go. It's okay. It's all love now. It's all
I got an A in that class. She
She didn't grade anyone. It was always an A.
she was like, she hated me but loved me at the same time because I was so difficult to work with. But like, I tried as best I could. I had no
Yeah.
rhythm. I couldn't move very well. I'm old.
She directed Dracula, a comedy noir.
Yeah,
A dance theater production.
She has a very good resume and she knew what she was doing. She'd start dancing in class, like doing ballet stuff, and it was fun. But yeah, I forgot. I saw Jay at the coaching clinic.
Oh, yeah?
I didn't get a chance to talk to him. He's coaching at Cedar Falls again.
Yeah.
I'm assuming he's teaching there too.
He's got 2 kids now. I have him on Facebook, but he didn't post that.
Sam.
Yeah, I don't-
His wife Sam.
Yeah.
She played softball.
Yeah, Big Jay. He's a mountain of a man.
Jay, woof. That was great guy too. Whenever you wanted to talk,
There he is. Yep, Cedar Falls physical
at that.
education health teacher.
who's surprised? I'm not.
I'm not here. Tim Saucer.
No, we had Janice was good. I mean, Scott, who else? Or the drugs teacher, Denton. She retired. She retired.
So that guy,
She was great.
or him, was Tim Sauer. He's at Jessup. Was one of Jay's roommates. It was just a bunch of
Monsters.
football linemen. So yeah,
Yeah.
He looks like Frankenstein from the Munsters.
Probably.
He was
Because I think my cousin Nick Ellis was there at the same time as those guys. He would have been on the line with them. Maybe
we had
maybe a little
we call
younger.
it field sports. So PE majors.
Mhm.
So it's like, oh, we get to learn how to teach PE, like field sports and PE.
Yeah.
Well, best place that you and I to do it was in the dome. So like my first PE class, I'm like, I could have recess for freaking class. Like,
We had individual sport and then team sport, and it pissed me off because they're both 1 credit each, and they were both a semester long. It's like, why can't we have this combined for 1 semester? Like, this is stupid. But there's so many classes like that where it's like, well, 1 credit, dance this semester and tumbling next semester. Like, come on, put them together.
but we were playing soccer in the dome for class, and me and Tim Sauer both went for like a header. Why I jumped with a guy that's 8 inches taller than me. But like I was always kind of one of the bigger guys in high school, and I wasn't used to getting moved around easily.
Yeah.
So we both go up, and next thing I know, I'm on my back. He's standing up, and the teacher's blowing the whistle.
He's like,
This
"Kid,
says
you all
class,
right?"
this says class is over. I'm like, I've never been moved like that before.
You a
And we
big boy.
became like best friends.
You're a big boy. Yeah, we didn't have many big athletes. We had a few of the athletes in the
We had
class.
Zeb. We had Zelenovic, or not Zelenovic, Starcevich Luke.
Yeah.
But he was on the coaching staff. His brother played at
The punter, he was in a couple of my classes. I had a couple of cross country guys in my couple of my classes, and we had to do body test, skin folds, and like I'm like I can't get anything on these guys.
That's really
Like,
all I can get.
like they were well put together. So That leads in. I guess we're talking about school. Aviation class. What's this all about?
So the year is, well, it's summer. It's not a year. It's the summer of 2021. I taught at a Catholic school for 1 year. I taught at physical education, Christ the King School on the south side of Des Moines. I didn't care for it personally. It was just a good little gig to get started on it, and I decided didn't want to do it anymore. I applied for this little job as a.
And that was K through 12.
That was
right?
K through 8.
K through 8, okay.
But I was working for Dowling at the time, which was great. Shout out to Coach Herring out there winning their district title for track.
Former UNI guy too.
Do I?
Former UNI guy.
Former UNI guy, one of the fastest guys in the state. He's currently in the record book. He's like the number 7 overall in the 100. Solid dude. Coached me in high school. Was at Christ the King for a year, and then applied for this educator position at the CCEOC, Cass County Education Opportunity Center, within Atlantic. Interviewed, got the job, accepted the job, and then about 2-3 weeks before I get there, or 2-3 weeks before the school year starts, Heather McKay calls me into her office, and I think to myself, great, I'm already in trouble. This is
Getting fired
awesome.
before we even start.
This is awesome. And she goes, question for you. I said, yeah. She goes, did you used to do hot air balloon stuff? In high school and college, in the summertime, they have the hot air balloon festival down in Indianola. My father and I would always go down there and be part of the chase crew for that. So I'd be what they have, the crown line. If this is your, can I borrow that real quick?
Yeah.
I'm not going to drink from it, I promise. If this is your balloon, you have a crown
Just
line.
cherry
that
Coke.
goes- Delicious. Who'd have thunk? You have a crown line that goes from the top of the balloon all the way down to the bottom. Now, if you're the pilot, you pull that crown line, it'll release the hot air out of the top. But if you don't pull it that hard, or if it's in certain positions, it'll actually keep the hot air in. And what that does when you're inflating the balloon is you keep it from flying straight up in the air. And I did that for 6-7 years, whatever. Got out of college, got married, and didn't have time to do it anymore. She goes, you used to do that? I said, yeah. She goes, do you want to teach aviation? Oh, sure. I guess, why not? They put me in this little program. There's an organization, it's based out of Fredericks, Maryland. It's called the AOPA, Aircraft Operators and Pilots Association. They have a STEM curriculum that's free through any school district that they want to use. Where you go in, you apply for it, and it's a STEM-based curriculum, science, technology, engineering, and math, wherein kids can go in and learn about the history, the practices, the principles, and the policies of aviation.
Nice.
Year 1, you start with the history and kind of the future of it. So like my kids just did a Mars Odyssey, where they put a marshmallow inside of a vacuum chamber, and you had to keep the marshmallow alive. It was heat. Well, if you ever do that, so can you stop it from that happening? The year they put me into it is called pre-flight planning, where kids are actually going through reading the weather, reading airport maps, planning out flights, all that mess. That was a great. I had 3 juniors that year. The next year, she comes up to me and she goes, you're really good at this. I said, I am? I don't have a pilot license. Are you kidding me? Hot air balloons.
Shoot from the hip here.
Hot air balloons are nice and quiet. They're awesome. Like, except for that right above your head. It'll singe your hair. It singes mine. But Coach, I don't know about you. But it's
He's got some up there.
it's falling out back here for me. But she goes, well, do you just want to teach that full time? I was, sure, I guess. If you trust me to do it, because we had a math teacher, a science teacher, and me. And I'm sitting there, I don't know what I'm doing, so yeah, I'll take that over. And here we are, this is year 3, and I've got, 5 seniors who graduated last year. One of them's in the Air Force, one's just finished his first year as a student at UNO, getting his commercial license. I got one that just accepted a job at Duncan Aviation in Lincoln to do helicopter technician. He'd been working for the Guard for a couple of years. I've got kids that this year, one of my seniors, Toby Thomas, who's going to go to UNO and become a professional drone pilot. Like it's really cool because, as you're already saying in the 2, and I imagine you're going, there ain't a lot of schools that do this.
No, I've never heard of it.
Yeah, so there's 4 schools in the state that do it. Us, Southwest Valley, Woodbine, and Des Moines Public.
Okay.
And that's it. And we're like one of the last states.
Des Moines Public probably does it at Central then,
Mm-hmm.
Central Campus, because they do some pretty cool stuff at Central Campus.
Yeah, it's super awesome. We've got,
Is there like a state aviation competition you can go to?
there's
Cape Real
not that
Simple?
I know of. I mean, this is only year 3 for me.
We had aviation technology at Ellsworth Community College, and you could pretty much got to do everything on the ground. And if you wanted, you could take the test and then do your flight hours after that.
Yep.
But they didn't pay for your flight hours; they paid for the test. So we all got to do that. So I passed the test. I just didn't never got flight hours. But they took us out to see planes. We got to go up once with a pilot, just us and the pilot. But we were sitting in the plane, me and my buddy Sid, and Sid's 6'5", 6'6", 300 some pounds. I was 300 at the time, and like he's like, we couldn't shut the doors. Both our arms are like this. We're like, and he's like, how much you guys weigh? And we're like, we told him, and he's like, well, you cannot have any baggage on the plane, and you could fly from here to Mason City, and you'd have to refuel by then. And we were in Iowa Falls. To Mason, 45-minute flight, 30-minute flight. So we weren't able to fly together, but it was a great class. I loved it, and that's what kind of made me think, like, what are these kids getting, like, opportunity wise in a class like this? Do they get to actually go up and to fly? Is there an airport in Atlantic?
There is. Unfortunately, our insurance is not good enough for us to send minors up into the air.
Is it Barry and Lori Reed?
Barry and Lori Reed? That's absolutely right. They're awesome.
So they used to live in Denison? Former next door neighbors.
Look at you.
Why do we always have to
So they
bring up
might, if they
Denison?
might remember bring up the name Kipley.
Yeah, I'll do that. Jesse Reed. He actually came to our class a while back and did a drone demonstration with his agricultural spraying drones. He just started that business this last year. So
There's a lot of stuff within drones now. I mean, that's just exploding for things you can do with drones.
Yes, and that's kind of the whole point of the aviation class. It's to educate kids that there's more than just piloting in aviation. You've got air traffic control, you got aircraft maintenance, you can do ground control, you can do the guy that fuels up the plane. You can make some pretty good money doing that if you're doing a good job of it, and if you're getting the big 747s.
Do you think this class is a class that, like, kids are like, hey, sounds cool, I'll just take it, or do you think a lot of these kids are like, hey, I already decided I want to do something with aviation?
There's a lot of my kids right now that had no prior plans to do an aviation, anything. Handful of them. I got one little sophomore. He runs track for us. His name's Preston. We call him the Vomit Comet because he will regurgitate right after his 800 because he redlines when he runs, and that's not a problem for him. He can do it.
It's all good.
It's all good. It's all
runners
love.
are different. Runners are different.
He'll lay there for a little bit and just breathe, and part of it's just that he's 15 years old.
Your 2 mile guy. He
class
right? The other day, and I went over to Coach Becker. I'm like, need any help? She's like, no, I'm good. If I need you, I'll let you know. I was like, no problem.
Yeah, he's coming through the line.
I was like, okay, no problem. I just wanted to check.
Yeah, that's Braden Spur. He's a goober, but a bunch of these kids don't come into it with a plan. There's I don't know, it sounds fun. Sure, they find out that I have simulators in my room. Like, I want to learn how to fly a plane, and then you put them in there and they're shaking like a leaf because they don't know what to do. I'm afraid of crashing. Well, if you crash, you don't die.
Good thing it's a simulator.
Yep. And there's even some kids I have now that I've had them for 2 years. They're still freaked out by the sims. It's okay. It's all right. But there's kids that come in. That sounds fun. There's kids that come in and say, hey, I want to have Coach Smith as a teacher. And there's kids that are just, I need a class, and yours was the first one on there, so I took it.
Is it elective then?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is it still at the Cass County place, or you?
No, so I'm at the high school now full time. So that's the other fun part too. This next year they got me teaching aviation, and I'm going back home, PE, health, and weights.
Nice.
So now I am the
jack of all trades.
the Swiss Army knife of teachers.
Still get your 1 period off, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you should join IJAG. I get 4 periods off.
We have an IJAG teacher.
They new one.
Yeah, I don't know if they have a new one yet, but I do know that we have the program still.
Yeah.
So I don't know who it's going to be.
Because you guys have Guy over there.
And he is going back into his music business now.
Oh, yeah.
So he's super excited about that.
Dude has the most amazing radio voice you'll ever hear in your life. I mean, he's got the perfect radio voice.
He sounds like Ron Swanson.
Yes.
Like
Yes,
the
absolutely.
tame Ron Swine
Guy,
looks like
SOM.
him.
Yeah,
Yep, that's him.
there.
Guy Summers. His wife sits on the.
That's
board.
not him. Oh, that's him, bottom
Second
left.
picture.
Right there. And then, yeah,
Yep.
that up above, middle picture. Oh, they got a little YouTube music.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can play it, can we?
Now he's got talent competition finalist.
Yep. He's super. He's just. There's not a lot that rattles that man. He is probably sits at our standard heart rate of 75. And
Yes.
doesn't get far past that.
So he was in the same like training class that I was in. We kind of gravitated to each other once I found out he was Atlantic. I was Red Oak. Great guy, but his voice is just. So we had to do projects and like we had to get up in front and present, and we're like, guy, you're talking. And he just went up there and just rattles it off, and it's perfect. It's perfect.
He's awesome. I wish him nothing but the best. I know he just became a grandpa actually.
Oh, nice.
About a month and a half ago. So he's got a new little guy that he wants to hang out with too, and who can play.
Probably give him a little more time.
Oh yeah.
I like kids are getting so many more opportunities. You got all these college classes you can take now. You got like an aviation class. You got IJAG. Like the benefits and stuff they get nowadays.
Work-based learning,
There's kids graduating
media.
with 2-year associate's degree. They're graduating from DMAC at the same time they're graduating from Red Oak. You know, just the opportunities they have to finish stuff beforehand is pretty awesome. I got one more. Well, 2 topics. This one will be quick. Alabama football. Are they going to keep winning?
Not the transfer portal keeps doing what it's going to do. I'll be honest, I did not watch much football at all this last fall. I don't know how you guys operate, but if I'm
My dad's a
coaching
Bama
sport-
fan, so I hear about it every week.
Yes, Jalen Milroe. I'm not saying he's the second coming of Christ, but he is very good at throwing and running, and you know, we'll see how the new regime handles the expectations.
It's not Saban no more.
It's not Saban anymore, but you know what? It wasn't. It's not going to be Belichick anymore either. So
Yeah.
Are the Patriots going to take as much of a downturn? I don't know. It's still Alabama.
Yeah,
That's
You're still going to get the top tier guys, but it's still not Saban running the show.
Yep, and he'll
Saban's
be
a
there.
different
He'll
cat.
be there like twice a week, every week.
Oh yeah, he's still in that room.
Oh yeah.
As long as the donors are still.
He's just hanging out on the lake. You know, they you know
Miss
him
Terry.
and Miss Terry are hanging out on the lake.
Miss Terry will get tired.
Have you guys watched the roast of Tom Brady? But was it just me, or was it really awkward with Bill Belichick up there? Like, just when they were joking with him, like he just felt like he was so uncomfortable and like out of place, and like his joke, like it was funny. I laughed the whole time, but it was just like, wow, I just felt awkward for him. Even when he was making fun of people, I was like, this is not his comfort zone.
No, you figure, Coach, he'd be one to tell you to your face, and he doesn't need an audience to do it.
Yeah.
And then you get Drew Bledsoe up there telling him, "Oh, I've experienced 2 things you never will: be first overall and having a 28th wedding anniversary." What?
Like, wow. I think it was good for the culture we're in now to have that kind of jokes. They kind of let it go, and I think that was good. The other last question I had, we've kind of talked about every single episode, the Hawkeye 10, and we've kind of talked small school wise. Coming from a middle of the pack, bigger size school, Atlantic, in the Hawkeye 10. What's your perspective of the Hawkeye 10? You know, coming from Central Iowa, you're in Ankeny. I mean, CIML, those conferences over there, it's pretty equal. Ankeny probably one of the topper dogs in that as well, compared to like Des Moines East and Hoover, who have they got out of there.
Yeah,
who still have to go through Ankeny and Dowling and Valley to get to state.
Yep.
You can have all your fun you want leading up to it, but what's your opinion on the Hawkeye 10? And an outsider coming into it.
Yeah, it's been fun to think of it. So, again, flashback to this was 2014. No, 2014. Yeah, in the fall, we're playing Lewis Central in the second round of the playoffs. This is Lear, both the Lears are playing outside backers for them. I sat there and go, this is a pretty good team. They should be 4A right about now, and they were for a minute, and then they weren't, and that's okay. And then we moved to 5A, but that's neither here nor there. I think, I look at it and go, we need 3 more teams. I think we need 3 more teams to level the playing field. And I think Carroll needs to be the one to lead Raccoon River. I think geographically it makes sense for them to do so, because is there any other big schools in our area that should? I mean, tell me, if Winterset would be the only other one that I would think that would.
But that'd still be going. Then you're pretty much going top heavy.
Yeah.
If you bring in a Carroll, you got to bring in a small to kind of even it out.
Which is why I say you bring in 3 more teams. You bring in a Carroll, and then you add in the 2 more littles, if you will. I know that makes us now 15, or makes us to 14. That makes us 14. So we can bring a Carroll, and then like a Tri-Center and a Woodbine, or a
Trainer,
Underwood, and a Trainer, or whomever. I think then that
8 and 8, like 16 is like the max you can go to.
Yes.
Because then you're getting 8. You're playing doubles. So, for baseball, you'd play 7 of those teams twice. So that's 14 of the games, and you'd play the other ones once. So that's 8. So that's 22 games. Mm-hmm. How many do you play in baseball? 30?
You can schedule up to like.
So let's look at 8 non-conference games. I think that's fair. So then you're not having to play a doubleheader against LC and then having to turn around the next day and play Shan, and then play the next day against Clarinda, or have another doubleheader against Harlan, or head all the way over to Carroll for a Carroll Kemper doubleheader.
Yeah, I think it just depends on who you're going to add though too, because athletically, I would argue to say we're one of the better overall districts, if you will.
Yes.
Or conferences, that is. But it's just a matter of who, A, is going to make geographic sense, and then B, who is going to help the conference as much as possible. Is Bison the conference header?
The Atlantic guy, isn't it now? No, not Atlantic.
It's not ours.
LC. I think LC ran it this year.
Dermody?
Yeah, I don't know.
Dermody, Beeson, Fink.
Yeah.
Fink from Dennis. I think if Hawk 10 were to get any better, either A, someone needs to leave, or B, we need to add some people. And I don't share bones on who I think should leave. I don't know the schools well enough. I know you guys don't like Shen. I know we don't like Creston. I'd be fine with Creston. I'd be fine with Harlan leaving personally.
That's what we were kind of talking before you got here. Who's Atlantic's rival?
The team up north.
Yeah.
We can't say them during football season. Coach Brummer is a graduate of that fine institution.
Oh yeah. We try not to say that team down south.
Yep.
It's the same way with Rolling Story and Gilbert. Like we just don't mention that team down there.
Centennial, it's the team up, or Ankeny Yankee Centennial, it's the team up north.
So
it's there's a lot of room to grow, but I think it's at the same time too, we're pretty good as it is. I think would be fun, and kind of bring it back to track just for a second. I think it'd be really fun to have a district on district meet in the state. You get rid of the Jim Duncan, or not get rid of, but you run a meet at the Drake Relays. It's all right. Take your entire district, make a team,
take your best of your best,
take your best of your best, and you go. Now, granted, for us, that's the team up north for us, the team down south for you guys.
Yeah.
That's a thrower or two from LC, throw maybe some folks from Atlantic in there. I would argue definitely Sifford would be in the running for that. Hey, you get together as coaches, you all figure out who's your team. You pick a head, or you take the coordinator for that conference. All right, you're the header for your program is the head coach for that district meet.
Yep.
Or
go down there.
Everyone's the conference championships.
Head coach.
There you go. I think that would be, there you go.
It'd be fun.
That'd be super fun to watch, because then you're like, okay, you're literally, it's the sub-Drake.
It's almost saying like, here, Southwest Iowa, it's the pride in your area. Mm-hmm. I mean, because it's, when you look at districts, it's breaking it down into the quadrants.
Yeah.
So, you're going to have to battle with Central Iowa, because they're just going to bring straight dogs every year.
Yep. But your Northwest Iowa's got a lot of pride in their athletics.
Yeah. We got some speed down here.
You got your bigger cities in there. It's like
go to
the Walmack or whatever. We're like Mount Vernon and
go out to East. I mean,
West Delaware. They're all
that'd be a super fun meet.
You get
in theory.
You get some different cats over there in Eastern on those river towns. So it's like Clinton and all that.
Coach Schneeberg, something right out there. Good former English teacher at Ankeny. Great guy. I love him.
Well, I think that leads perfectly into our top 5 list Are we going with hardest or the worst?
I did a little bit of both.
Okay, well, I wrote it as the worst events in track.
Okay.
So you can look at it as the hardest. They're just the events that suck. And I'm going to say it could be a suck to watch, suck to compete in, all around suck. So I'll go ahead and fire us off.
Question before you get started.
Yep.
I did write this contingency, Amara. Are we talking about the 19 that we have in this state, or are we talking about track and field?
I did only the ones we had in our state.
Got it.
If I would add some in, like the pole vault, that seems like it would suck a lot. I've seen some horrific videos of the pole going in horrific spots.
Steeplechase.
Yeah, so
I said the 10K.
yeah,
That'd be hard
exactly.
to watch.
That Peyton Noe girl from Ballard who won the 2 mile, and she's standing there like helping girls up and clapping them in, and she just cooked everybody. But she just won the 10,000 at Arkansas for the SEC championship. And then her teammate before that, Shawani, who's at Texas A&M now, who left to go run in Texas, won state titles down there. That's the only reason Peyton Noe won. Is because she would have been getting second place if Shanawi would have stayed. But anyways, so I'm gonna go honorable mention. A little different for honorable mention. I'm gonna do my 2 favorite races. My 2 favorite races: the 100-meter dash and the 4x1. Just watching straight speed is fun to watch. I had trouble picking a top 5 because I don't think many of them are that horrible. It's just So my number 5, I picked the discus. And I picked the discus because of details. One little slip up, that disc can wobble. You don't get the right trajectory angle, you're not going to get the distance. You might throw it flat. You spin wrong, you're going to throw it off to the side. So I see the discus as I wanted to have a field event on there. And that seemed to me is probably the hardest or the worst field event for details. So discus is my number 5.
So I like your honorable mentions. So just to be different, I just wrote them down. I didn't have one going into it till you just talked. So then I'm like, I got to be different.
That's
so
how it goes.
Especially at the highest levels, the 200's fun to watch. Because you'll have 100 guys that are fast and can accelerate real quick and win it by winning the first 60 almost. The 200 guys can almost do a little bit longer, so it's fun to watch.
Well, then you mentioned the 60. The 60 is that's just straight.
That's just
Landon Kaus. That cat had his 60 was amazing.
I remember a couple years ago, it was like Hawkeye 10 at Harlan. You had was Nate Kennedy from Glenwood. You had Nick Foss from Harlan. You had Max Duggan from LC. You had like Aiden Hatchett from LC. And so it was just like...
Just all D1 athletes.
Yeah, just a bunch of D1 athletes were all going to run like 22s and like a 10. And the kid that was 5th would probably place that state. And then for another fun one for honorable mention, because we've had junior high level, we can have some fun with it, but just people done running back and forth. I put the 4x4. It's also probably in contention for suckiest because it's 400s. But when we've had good 400 runners, we tell everybody else that they got to be on the back stretch and home stretch.
Yeah.
And that can be a lot of fun with junior high kids because then, the other schools aren't going to let you just show them up. So then they're running
back
everybody
and
on.
forth.
It's a fun way to end the day. So honorable mention 200 4x4. And then for all those first 10 of these we did, we barely, I had the discus at 5. For the same ones that like you think, oh, you just be a big strong dude, you're a lineman.
Yeah, don't worry.
Go through it. Like, no, it actually takes a lot of skill to be really good at it. So number 5, I had the discus.
Our discus thrower last year was a third string tight end or a third string defensive end, Alex Kaiser, and you wouldn't think that he would be a lineman, just kind of tall and lanky. He looked like Marv from Home Alone.
Yeah.
Right, but once you get to technicality, oh wow, that's pretty athletic that you just threw that disc 150 feet. Cool. Honorable mention for me has nothing to do with athletics. It's more of me as coaching administratively. The 4x2, I absolutely hate, not because it's a hard race to watch or a hard race to do, but because my 100 runners and my best 200 runners and my best 400 runners are used in the events
right before, between the 1, the DMR, the 400.
It's the location of the race.
And then they have the 110s right afterwards. Like, I'd love to have Colton Rasmussen in this event. I really would love to have this kid up here, but I can't because you're in the 110s. I can't burn my best guys, and that's a causality too of the size of the team. If you have a bigger team, then it's easier to fill in the 4x2. That's the race that we didn't stack this year.
Yeah, I don't think we had it.
Yeah, like
4x2 and 4x8.
Yeah, and we stacked the best that we could. We had Gavin in there. We had Dante Hedrington, Brock Goodrich, and a converted 800 runner that plays strong side safety for us. Sawyer Terrell is the starter. He also does 4 lows. It's like, well, this is perfect for you.
Yeah.
And it gives me a headache every time because I sit there and go, yes, we got this, we got this, we got this. 4x1, 4x2. Dang it! All right. That's all right. My number 5. Based on the fact of how scary of a proposition it is for me to watch somebody do it and to see the results of it, I said the high jump. Between the angles that you have to take, watching guys that kind of that tall start into it, and then that quick lean into it. I look at it every time. If a kid's not wearing spikes, you're not wearing the correct shoes, your ankle's right out to the back side of it.
Yeah.
And that is a terrifying thing for me to see. But then also, when you see guys that are going 6'7", 6'8" in the high jump, they're going over. That is saying that their butt is right here. They can jump over me and land on a mat. It's a terrifying thing to think about, that a kid who's 18 years old can just float right over the top of you and just land right there again. And between that and then for them too, the planning of it. Colton Rasmussen sitting over there at the long jump. He's got another jump till after they're starting the high jump down on the other side of the field. And I just tell them to start at 5'8". But how do you know you're going to go to 5'8" on this one, dude? Like, you could barely clear 5'6" a couple weeks ago. How do you know you're going to go 5'8" on this one to start? How do you know this about yourself? And part of that's the athletes. I wasn't a good one, so I don't know. I could have told them, start them at 4'10". I don't know.
We'll just figure it out.
It's crazy to think about it, and it's such a cool event if you got athletes that can do it.
Yeah.
But at the same breath, it's one little thing goes wrong, and your guys toast for 6 to 8 weeks.
My cousin jumped over 7 foot at state, got second place. The guy that got first holds the state record. I think it's 7'3", something like that. So yeah, he jumped over 7 foot and still got second place from AP. They breed them different there over at AP.
Yeah.
So number 4, I went with the 800 meter sprint dash run, and that's why I put it in there as my number 4. Is it a sprint?
There's kids that do sprint it.
Is it
wouldn't LC do it all year?
Is it a slow twitch, fast twitch? That's kind of why I put it in there. It's it's one of those tweener races where it's like, man, you better be good enough to sprint this bad boy. Otherwise, be content with getting 3rd or 4th because you got dudes out there sprinting this 800. And that's why I just put sprint ? So 800 is my number 4.
My number 4, my body type is built for comfort, not speed or endurance. So I have the 2 mile. Because sometimes it's really hard to watch.
I didn't even put that one in here.
There's no chance I'd ever want to do it. So, but at least you can maybe pace yourself if you're used to it.
It's fun watching. I mean, I shouldn't say fun, but watching kids' bodies just break down at the end. I mean, they just put everything into it and then just. Or watch a kid run a 123 split all the way around, and then all of a sudden their last lap's a 104, and you're like, where was that the whole race? Like, come on. Why didn't I not put 32?
And then it's like, the fast girl that's gonna maybe place at state, and it's this local one. And it's like, how many times is she gonna lap the girl from the school with 10 kids in it?
Yep.
Yeah, that was this last year with what was her name from Harlem? Sonderman, thank you.
Yeah.
Sonderman, like watching her do it,
Just
like,
cooking.
laugh.
Well, it was like that Noe girl. And,
Yeah, she's crazy in there. You already hit my number 4 was the discus. What I call it, the geometry of the perfect throw. Like, if your foot goes here, you're going 155. Your foot goes here, it's going out of bounds at 130. You release at this angle, the wind's going to catch it and blow it backwards. But you release it here, you're going to dome someone in the head if they're not taking attention to it.
Hand tilted too far,
it's just
slapping the wind.
Yeah, like you you can only grip it with that much of your finger to get the optimal amount of speed. Like it's so, it seems like such a gross motor movement, but it is so technical in every little bit of things that you do. And then that's my only throwing event on there, because the other thing that bothers me to no end, and it's just in my blood, and guys that'll intentionally scratch a throw.
Oh yeah.
I watched both of my guys, all three of my guys, throw this year at one point or another, and then I turn away real quick when they're done throwing to make sure that if they intentionally scratch it, I don't see it, because it's to me, it's why waste the opportunity.
Well, we had a kid that he would throw his first one, it'd land in, he'd scratch it, but then he'd throw this next 3 out of bounds, and he'd have to scratch all 4. It's like, why didn't you keep the one that was in? Like, get on the board, and let's go from there.
Yeah, and I get why they don't want it listed on there. You don't want an official listing of, oh, you threw 101 and you usually throw 140. I get that, but also...
There's probably a reason why you're throwing 101, and it's probably going to affect the other throwers.
Like, come on, man. Just keep it going.
Number 3, this is probably the most painful for me to watch. I think I've saw the most hurdles get broke this year in this event, Glenwood. I think in the 5 events meets I saw them, they probably broke 15 hurtles. The shuttle hurdle, kids eat it hard in the shuttle hurdle.
It's not even.
It's just like it hurts me to watch, and that's so like I've kind of got this rhythm of different reasons why it's the worst. So this one's the most painful to watch, the shuttle hurdle.
I didn't have a hurdle event down, but I was a graceful enough athlete to. Actually, never mind. Check that. I got one coming later.
I assume we all had the same one.
We're all going to have the same one.
So my 3 is the 400-meter dash, just because it's more painful to do. It's fun to watch a good one, but it's painful to do and be good at it. So 400-meter dash, just because it's sprinting quarter mile. Like, you sprint, you gotta have the guts, and then, but at the same time, it's one of the fun ones. Like, we have our 7th grader, Sawyer Purdue, who goes and wins the shot in the disc at the Hawkeye 10 meet, and then got 3rd, or in a 61 in the open 4. So, but even then, it's like, it's like, get out faster, like, let's go. Yeah, you can coast here at 95% on that backstretch, and then it's all guts the rest of it. So
the best part about the 400 is trying to teach a slow 200 runner that you might be made for the 400. And then they're like, well, no, I'm a 1-2 guy. Like, but
you can do it. You can do it.
You'll be all right.
So my number 3 is the 400-meter dash.
I had a freshman this year at that 9-10 meet that he did a 400 at that first time, and he was shaking the whole time. Aiden, you got it, buddy. He goes out and runs a casual 60. See, he goes, that was hard. Well, you're 5'5", so of course it's going to be hard. I will time and memorial, and I make a bet every year with one of the former coaches down at Ames. He's down in Arizona now doing pole vault. We make a running bet every year. How many times we're going to hear Mike J over the loudspeakers say, "Will the coach from blah 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 please come to section O at the state meet?" That is a heartbreaker. And what event is that most commonly associated with? The shuttle hurdle. That kids, like you prep it out. You prep it. Like you get, if they step in that spot, that's great. But if you anticipate that step by that much, you're getting called for it, because they watch you like a hawk at the state meet. And it's terrifying. It just, the Ames 2000, that first season there, we would have won the state meet, but our shuttle got DQ'd for leaving literally maybe a quarter of a second too early. And we would have had that meet, but we ended up getting second. Not a bad team by any means, but that, between the injury risk of it, between the volunteers that you have to have, everyone's got to click it up and move it back and click it up and
get out there quick,
get it out
reposition.
There. And you get people standing out there, kids running right past. Don't hit me! Don't hit me! Don't hit me! That's terrifying. And then the 110s just scare the willy out of me. 3-step life is what my shuttle team calls it. It's like, guys, your leg, wow, wow, 3 steps and you're over
Yeah.
a hurdle that's 36 inches tall. I'm good. I'm good. I'm
Yeah.
out.
Good for you guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
I would have just chosen the easier option. Just run through them. It's so much easier. It's going to hurt. You're going to get bruised, but guess what? It's cool.
It sounds like Glenn would try to do that all year.
Jeez. Yeah. So shuttle hurdle relay at number 3.
My number 2, I'm going to go with this one because you need to have a good team of it. It's hard to find 4 guys that can run 800s. Good solid 800. So I'm going to go 4x800 is my number 2 because that's just an 800 in the first place. That was my number 4. Now you got to find 4 dudes to be able to run it together. It's a tough race. My favorite is, I think last year during our meet here, there was only one team in it, Atlantic, and Coach Becker's like, just have them run it together. So all 4 of them ran it together, and then you just took the time and added it together.
They all 4 of us. It was a senior, the one that drank the crackers earlier. His little brother, who did that 200 earlier, we were talking about. One of our 4x8 runners that qualified for state this year, and then the other one. So 2 guys from that 4x8 that rather than one run the 2 laps, and they're just let's all run at the same time. We'll multiply the time times 4, call it a day.
Yeah.
I think that was
Wasn't it like you carried everybody carried the baton like 200 meters?
Just probably passed it back and forth.
This is the only thing I remember from that. The senior, Logan Terrell, at the last second, sprinted just to get ahead on all his brothers. He was smile, I beat you.
Yeah, I remember Coach Becker came. I was like, "That's brilliant. Let's do that.
Let's do that from here on out." That was a fun.
4x8. That's my number 2. Kip.
So my number 2, I have a feeling it might be your guys' one, or I guess still have Coach Smithson next. 400 hurdles.
Yeah.
Jeez.
What could
I
be
don't
number
know how I
1
forgot
then,
about
Kip? Jeez.
But I actually have a little experience because I did run this once in high school. We've talked about it on the podcast before. It's my last high school meet. I couldn't throw shot and disc because I had Brandon Sheriff and Cody Vaness in front of me, who placed top 5 in state. So I couldn't even throw on my own varsity team. So they said, that, well, we have JV 400 hurdles available.
Sign me
Go
up.
show Coach Brinkley you can get over a hurdle. Okay. Like I did it when we were in like February and couldn't run outside. I went with the hurdles because our throwing coach wasn't there that day. They put me down as a 120 and I got 119.9. I was paying attention to some of the JV girls' times. I beat some of them. I was listening to them. I went and laid on the high jump mat for like 15 minutes after I was done. So I was all alone, put the finger up the last 10 meters, big cheer after I got over, but it sucked. And
Yes.
nobody loves it. See the kids run it, good. Like they're just dead. Like the feet kid, I think won hockey.
Yeah,
fan.
That kid
He can
was,
float
he was
over it.
on fire after Carroll.
So
We sat and
yeah.
watched him go 55. Whoa, gee, okay.
He floated the conference too. It was nice.
Yeah, I think he's like number 5. Let me see. I think he's like number 5 or 6.
He's got to be up there.
He's number 5 in 3A right now. 54.99 qualifying.
So just like I already had the 400. Okay, now there's something in your way.
Yeah.
If it doesn't suck enough, now there's going to be something in your way 10 different times. Or
Yeah.
whatever. it
Feet
is.
Kid's a pretty good bowler too, and basketball. They're good about everything.
You got to be
Played-
an athlete. to
played
do
some
that.
baseball
Yes.
teams.
You really do.
So mine is the 200.
400 hurdles.
400 hurdles.
200 junior high.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as bad in junior high because it's 200
Yeah.
and there's like 4.
Yeah, it still sucks.
They either need to add that so that way we have 4 hurdle events in the Iowa list, Rolodex, if you will,
Round
of
it up to
events.
20.
Do 200 hurdles. Don't do 300 hurdles. That's a little silly. But you do your 200 hurdles. You keep everyone the same height, and you just go with that. So we would at least have 4 hurdle events.
We could have a 400 like wheelchair hurdles. They could like put up ramps in front of them. Get Titus just rolling up on that bad boy, just sail over it.
There was back at Ames again, a kid named Christian who was just dumb as a box of hair. He was all body, no brains, and he's sitting there. We're at Carlisle, and he's just got this dumb look on his face watching the hurdles. He goes, "Coach, I got a question. What do you got, Christian?" He goes, "Coach, why don't they have wheelchair hurdle events?" I said, "Christian, I want you to think long and hard about that, and you get back to me later." And he comes back about the end of the meet. He goes, "Coach,
Figured it
I
out.
figured it out. That's good job, buddy. Here's your Scooby snacks." He
geez.
was, wow. He ran like he was Forrest Gump. That kid, he was goofy. Number 2 on my end, you had alluded to it earlier with Spur. I was in 32 in the 3K. I coached sprints. I don't have the brain power to watch a kid and have them race plan. I'm going to hit 85 here. I'm going to hit 87 by lap 4, and then by lap 6, I'm going to no. You're running right now. I can't do that math. Sprints. It's hey, beat that guy, go.
Yeah.
It's super easy. And then just watching it. We talked about Sonderman there. We talked about Eichhorn and Coots and Smith and Keller out of Glenwood. Like, okay, that kid's in last. But how many laps does he have left to go? And it amazes me that the starters can look at the kid and go,
Yes.
1 left,
Yeah.
3 left, 3, 2,
It's,
1,
it's
1,
great
2,
listening to
1.
them too. They're like, how many? 1, 1. Okay, 1, 1, 1.
Yep. And those guys, they don't get enough props. Every time I sit them at a meet, I go up to them right before the meet. Say, hey, appreciate you doing this for us because this is some brain power. What it is, I can't. And the physical exhaustion of it. Braden is foaming at the mouth at the last 800. Like, you still got 2 more. You can do it, buddy. And he's
just the head of vomit and just rolling.
That is, it's cross country at its finest on a track. I equate it to human NASCAR. The 32. It's just
it's brutal.
It's tough. That's the other side too. The state. I don't know if you share this with me. I think the state needs to turn the 32 and turn it into a 3K.
Yeah.
We need to have the same. The girls do 15, the boys do 16. Well, college is 15, and everyone do 15.
Yeah.
Like, just keep it the same for everybody,
Yeah.
please. Like, it's just unnecessary.
And just let them all run together. 32 boys, girls run together. It's all good.
They did. They've done that a couple
Click them.
times.
Click them.
Yep.
Let's go.
Click
Let's
it.
go.
That's up until a couple years ago. Not even 2-3 years ago. State meet 800 3A. Kid gets punched in the back of the head.
Yep.
They
Iowa
released everyone
City
at the same time.
and
Yeah.
Dowling.
Was it? No, it wasn't Dally. It was someone in an orange and.
Because they let him run by himself.
Was it that one? I remember seeing it on YouTube.
Iowa
They pull it
City's
up all
one
the
that
time.
punched him in the head.
It's hilarious, but like, could you imagine?
Oh, God.
Some girl just pop and hit someone right.
Well,
in the
this was
head.
a guy's race.
Yes, that was the
Yeah.
best part. Like, they were
Just
coming around.
lit him up. It was like turn 1.
Double waterfall. They're coming around, going into the brake line, and someone stepped on someone else,
And it was a
somebody
pile
just
up.
turned and bang. And this kid falls over and almost gets spiked in the head. It was.
Yeah, because then a bunch of kids were like willing to be the rabbit for him.
Mm-hmm.
And the state's like, well, you can't have a rabbit. Like, you have to just run it. So he went and ran it by himself and ended up winning.
Yeah, that was. But if you're the mental toughness, the 30.
Oh, God.
So that's hard for me to watch.
Well, number 1, Kipley, you already took it. All I put was 400-meter hurdles, got to be crazy. So that's my number 1 craziest, worst, hardest event and track that we do in the state of Iowa. There's other steeplechase is probably if we were doing all races, I'd probably put steeplechase because that takes an extra kind of stupid.
You're
But
running water.
yeah,
Okay.
but I know Baylor Bergeron, he does it now, qualified. But 400-meter hurdles, that's my number 1. You got to be straight crazy to be doing that. Dylan Ryberg, you are kind of crazy, buddy.
So mine, I already had the 400 hurdles. I had the 400. You got to sprint both of those. Well, that's sprinting 1 lap. You kind of alluded to it earlier. Sprinting 2 laps. Sounds like it sucks even worse. So I have the 800. And just kind of memory flash back. Whereas the state qualifying meet a couple years ago, we were at Trainer again. And Justin McCunn ran it. Well, Justin McCunn could have played linebacker at most colleges. Went and wrestled. So there's this kind of a body type most 800-meter runners have.
Yep.
Justin didn't have that body type. Like, his biceps were most of the other kids he's running against waist.
It's like watching Harlan run. Like, those guys are grown men. What are they doing? What are they doing in the shuttle hurdle?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I know exactly. What
So
you're
Justin, he
talking
didn't.
about.
Yeah.
Top 5. I don't think he didn't make it to state, but it's just he almost wanted to do it because it took a lot of guts to do it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I got more guts.
I got something to prove.
So I can I got more guts. I'm more competitive than you. So, and yeah, to be good at the 800, it's a 2-lap sprint. So
Oh, yeah.
they're crazy and it sucks, and I would never want to do it.
Number 1, coach?
Your theme is guts, and it takes a certain kind of stupid and a certain amount of guts to do 4 lows. I had tweeted somebody had said, what's the most the stupid coaching thing that you say, and I always say arms when kids are running.
Yep.
And one of my athletes from last year, Jaden Cox, who only ran 1 year of track, qualified in the 4 lows his first year doing track, his senior year. And he tweeted at me, he goes, yeah, I'm never going to get tired of you yelling attack in between each and every hurdle. Because his whole goal was to break 60 the entire year. He did it at state quals at Carroll. But it just, why is the answer?
No, I don't think any kid actually signs up for it. It's one of those races where coach is like, well, you can run a 400. Like, let's put a hurdle in your way.
Yeah.
You're athletic. You got to, like, talk a kid into it. Like, you got to sweet talk him. Like, you're an athlete. You can do this. Like, you'll be fine. Like, because it does take an athletic kid to run a 400 hurdle.
Or you're 6'4", you can step over.
Yeah, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
We had Kyle Van Winkle in high school. He ran the 400 hurdles, and it was like, dude, you're 6'6". You'll be fine. You know, he just kind of walked over it. You know, no big deal. He qualified for state in it.
Yep.
But yeah, was that your number one 400?
Yeah, 400. I tried to convince. We had a 400 runner last year, Carter Pellet. That we tried. Yeah, Carter, he's a good kid.
He always battled with Rozzy and Jack.
To the best of his ability.
Yeah. He'd get third every time.
I tried to convince him, hey man, just give it a shot. Well, I'm gonna hit it, Carter. They go to my pocket. You're 3 inches taller than me. You run a 52 split on the high end for a 4 low or for a 4x4. You could do it and probably break 55. I have no problem at all. And he goes,
No.
I'm too scared to do it. I don't blame him.
It's the fear of hurdle 8 and 9. Like, that's when you're getting there and you're like, I'm getting tired. Like, do I have another jump in me? Like,
and the form's starting to go bad.
Yeah.
So it's just kids ballerina over top.
You got those long kids that are just like, diddle-it.
So my infamous race when I did it, I'm like, got out fast, clipped the first one. Immediately I'm like, this is going to be a long race. I'm like stepping over the last one. Like the whole crowd kind of cheers. I'm like, yeah, the big guy didn't.
Well, that's what Baylor Berggren, I guess he's like, he ran, I think, 400 hurdles, and he never practiced on a curve for a hurdle. And he's like, it's got to be the same thing. And he said he hit that first one. He's like, it's not the same thing because he clipped it. He's like, I've only practiced straightaways. And he's like, clipped that first one. He's like, it's definitely not the same thing.
Jeez. Yeah, it's crazy to watch, and it's crazy to think that a kid wants to do it. And then it's even crazier to think the kids are really good at it.
Yeah.
And then it's just, wow.
It's one of those, it's good for you. You'd be good at that. I'd rather be good at cricket. Or something else. I don't know.
Atlantic, was it Reed out of Iowa now? From Atlantic?
Grant Reed. Yeah, Grant.
He used to do him. Was super good at him.
His sister qualified in the hundreds in the shuttle and sprint med. Yeah, she's super awesome. But I mean, that's just
Atlantic girls 400. I'm like, that sounds familiar.
yeah.
Tell me it was good.
JC, that's what I just had to lock that away in my brain. No, we had funny story for low. Every year we give the seniors, you get to do one event you've always wanted to do. We've had a kid, we've had a distance runner this last year say, I want to do a 200, or I want to go out of blocks. We had a kid this last year, I want to hand off to this person. And one of our throwers, Cohen Bruce, love the kid to death. He's a little goofy in the head, plays offensive guard, and wrestles in like the 200, I think. Throws shot and disc for us. I want to do 4 lows. And I had a text conversation with his mom and his dad, and an in-person conversation with his sister, because she's in aviation, and we all had a bet on what he was going to do. His sister, 80, she goes, he's going to go 83. His mom, he's going to clip it on the first one and walk off the track. Me, he's going to go 73, go 71 on it.
See, Coach knows. Coach knows.
Killed me.
Yeah.
Well, another great episode. Coach Smith, thank you for coming down and joining us so they can see your pretty face, and other than hearing the words you send me to share that I messed up most of the time. But
Now I got a
try my
face
best.
to match with the paper.
Yeah. So thank you again for listening. Tune in next week for episode number 13. Roll Tigers.